Hey guys, it's me. I came across Sullen Beauty's video. This is a conversation between Gypsy and Autumn. And the way Gypsy talks to Autumn is like she is convincing Autumn that the anti-Gypsy people are conspiracy theorists. No, we are not. We are based in fact, inconsistencies in your fucking lies, and proving that you don't need to be on the internet. Proving you don't need to be on the internet, persuading young people. You're a murderer. You murdered your mother. Your mother did not have Munchausen by proxy. This whole thing is really fucked up. It really is. So I'm going to play it, and I'm probably not going to play it all the way, but let's just hear Solemn Beauty read this.
Out that this is Gypsy's typical MO. Okay. When something's happening that she doesn't necessarily like, she gets angry, then she apologizes, and all is forgiven. I don't forgive people as easily as a lot of others do. But then again, I'm not also around people because I want something from them. And then there's these little parts where Gypsy is basically coaching Ken's sister, trying to teach her how to be an influencer and get brand deals, but she can't even keep a flippin' brand deal. She's also saying Autumn should do lives with her and they can even battle. Okay, so this is where I want to start reading it to you guys. This is the meat and the potatoes, and I will link the entire video with the messages in this description if y'all want to go read the whole thing yourself. But this is where Gypsy starts talking about content creators and calling them conspiracy theorists. Like, Gypsy girl, please. There is so much to your story. We don't even have to invent conspiracies. Mind you, Gypsy is using her favorite preferred method of text, talk to text. Gypsy says, I completely understand, but also you have to understand that the people that you have been talking to have a very biased opinion. I would love for you to have a conversation or at least listen to the professionals that have reviewed my case. These individuals have many years of expertise and understanding trauma. Mind you, no professionals actually looked at the case files. Hell, we're even finding out that the district attorney, Dan Patterson, didn't even have all the case files thanks to Mike Stanfield. Gypsy continues, particularly Munchausen by proxy. There are many conspiracy theorists on the internet, such as Audrey and Becca Scoops. These women have a motive for what they are doing. They simply don't like the fact that a murderer profit it off of her story and that a man is sitting in jail for the rest of his life while the other is free for committing the same case. Nobody.
Why is it that Gypsy wants to keep Nicholas in jail? Like, why does she think that people want to get him out? Yes, I do think that he deserves a new trial. I really do think that he deserves some kind of, parole or something. But to have life in prison without the possibility of parole, and Gypsy get this sweet deal because we think she's the victim. We on the contingency that her mother had Munchausen by proxy. No, bitch.
Wants Nick free, girl. Try again. She says the only difference is I didn't physically carry out the crime. They believe Nick should be free, which is absolutely insanity to me. Many of the inconsistencies in my interviews have been because I have been being interviewed through the course of the last.
And get this, I was just on YouTube and I came across, I think I'm gonna post that too. Now that we know Gypsy could get into her Facebook account, you know what? It's already corrupted. If she got in there looking at it, no, it's already corrupted. Don't even use it. If she can go in there and add some shit, point some shit out, cherry pick some shit, whatever. It's I think that's what that podcast is going to be, is to show people like, look, 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 it was all Nick. It was all Nick. No, bitch. That was your fucking mother. There's been enough correspondence to know who the fucking mastermind was, giving your 13-year-old daughter up. She's going to say, she's going to convince people that was all Nick's idea, even though it came out of her damn mouth.
10 years, and in those 10 years, I have come to learn more knowledge about my past than I knew before by speaking with family members, looking at my own medical records, and so on and so forth. So if an interview took place back in 2017, I learned new information that would change how I answer the same question present day. The creators you talk with call that inconsistencies or lies or changing story.
Because they're lies.
Okay, so what I'm already gathering is that Gypsy is still clinging on to the fact that she didn't commit the actual crime or the jabbing. She doesn't consider herself a murderer. But in the United States, the person that plans the crime gets more time, literally in almost every single case. And she can continue to use trauma or traumatic memory loss.
Do you know why? Do you know why that the one that planned it gets more time than the one that actually did it? It's because they're very good manipulators. There's an underlying sickness with that person. They can kill again. Just like I posted just today, where Dee Dee was in the other room, and what did they do in her room? What did they do in her room? They got down and freaky. That's not normal. That is not normal. And Nick, in his interrogation, said that he only stabbed her 4 times. There's a reason why she wants to keep Nick in the position that he's in. Nick has a lot more to say.
She wants, but when a person is speaking the truth, the story shouldn't change. And if you don't know the story or the truth to begin with, then you shouldn't have spoke. Gypsy continues, and boy, does she continue. For example, they're going to tell you a lot about microdeletion. So if you haven't already researched what microdeletion is, it's a genetic condition that either came from my mother or it happened in utero. I think it's so crazy that Gypsy's just passing off these stories like she does to the public. Like, you're not treating this person like their family.
Oh,
Gypsy
exactly.
continues, I have seen a genetic specialist, and the specialist explained to me that some of the conditions that I have, such as microcephaly, a smaller head than average, as well as a lazy eye, is attributed to this condition. But I thought you were unaffected. However, I do not suffer from seizure disorder, mental delays, or muscle weakness. Then why did it take you 5 years to pass the GED? Muscular
Amen,
dystrophy is a
Sullen
progressive
Beauty.
disorder, not one that can.
I said that too. So why did it take you 5 years to get your GED? People in prison use that time to accelerate their education. Gypsy was lazy.
Disappear as soon as the mother is dead. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but that's just facts. The woman that you have surrounded yourself with will tell you that microdeletion was the cause for all of the procedures that I had done to me. Therefore, they claim it was necessary. However, Munchausen by proxy.
Now, Audrey came out with documentation stating that Gypsy Rose had gotten a bone marrow transplant at the age of 5. At the age of 5. So whatever she had, it's legit. Her mom was trying to keep her alive or help her or whatever it was. Her microdeletion is, well, what I gather, it's like with a person with Down syndrome, they have that extra chromosome, and a person with microdeletion, they have less of that chromosome. you know? So she was a very sickly child. That's why there was so much evidence with the medical. And that should have been a rabbit hole that the sheriff and the investigators should have went down. And they did not. So a lawyer that wants to win the case, especially the defense, is going to, spin that narrative the way he wants to and fucking lie about it just as long as they don't investigate it. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, the Supreme Court needs to rule like, the lower courts fucked up. Because they do. They do. They do. And that's why we have a Supreme Court. So, okay, guys, if you want to, listen to more of this, go to Sullen Beauty's page. She's amazing. I'll put her in the description. I'm glad she hit on this because as I was coming home today, I was listening to Conspiracy and she went over the same thing. So, all right, guys, that's it.